Night of the Living Geeks production. Hello and welcome to VidNerds. I am your host, Devin and Ernesto, and today is a sad day in the history of VidNerds, in the history of Night of the Living Geeks in general. We've lost one of our own. Unfortunately, Mr. Ernesto Areca did not make it through Transformers 4. We were at the drive-in, not necessarily enjoying the film, and not even halfway through the film, his head simply exploded. So I will be doing this episode solo until I find a replacement for Ernesto. And, honestly, to be fair, kind of a blessing in disguise, because we really all think that Ernesto was just dragging the show down.
I'm sitting right here right next to you. I didn't die. Actually, I did die, but I came back 14 times like Optimus Prime did in this fucking movie.
So Ernesto and I, we did sit down and watch Transformers 4. It's the first movie that's actually in the theaters that we're going to be talking about on VidNerds. So I'm kind of excited to at least do something that's present and something that's, a little, maybe not pop culture, but that's fresh in the minds of the people.
Absolutely. And it's something that is, I'm not going to lie to you, I've always tried to keep a biased mind on this, but I hate the Transformers series.
Okay.
And this one was a hot piece of shit. It's
when it comes to these remakes of our childhood favorites, I try to do the same thing. I try to have an open mind, whether it's the Spider-Man movies or the X-Men movies, any of the G.I. Joe or Transformers stuff.
Totally.
You know what? I understand. It's going to be a fresh story. It's going to be something that we haven't seen before. Our favorite characters are going to be different, but in some cases, not all, it's typically, maybe it is in most cases, it's a letdown.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And in terms of Transformers, the first one, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was way different than what I expected. I don't, to this day, I don't like the look of the new Transformers. I think they're too stringy and too technical.
Yeah.
I like the simplified version.
They look like bodybuilders.
Right, and it's just like their pistons and gears and stuff are just pure muscle fiber.
Yeah.
But one thing I did like about Transformers Age of Extinction is the fact that, at least with Optimus Prime, he goes into this crazy samurai warrior sort of mode, and he gets these arm bracers and he gets it looks like armor put on, and so it gives it that more smooth sort of blocky
Totally.
look. And to me, that's a little bit more of a classic Transformers look, and I like that a lot more.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Didn't happen with the rest of Transformers.
Nope.
So,
especially when they had such a good possibility to release Grimlock and be really cool.
Yeah.
The
Dinobots we will get to later.
We will. Yeah, it's funny that I went to see The Edge of Tomorrow the day after Transformers, which was a phenomenal film. But before the movie, they actually showed a trailer for Age of Extinction, and in the trailer it looks pretty cool. And it shows that scene where they're sliding through China and Grimlock's tearing shit up behind.
Yeah, breathing
Optimus.
fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Optimus got that sword.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, how come was I so brain dead to what we were watching that this is that didn't matter anymore? When you see it in fresh snippets, it's actually pretty cool, but when you see it for 3 hours,
yes,
you don't give a shit anymore.
So that's one thing about Transformers 4 is that the movie is 3 hours long. It is the longest Transformers film ever made.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing, and to touch up on the Dinobots
it's 165 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the beginning. What did you think first time with the Transformers series? What did you think of Shia LaBeouf or Megan Fox?
So with me, going back and watching the old Generation 1 Transformers cartoons, it's not 100% Transformers.
Okay.
They have their human counterparts, and even the Decepticons have a human working for them, and there are humans involved in the story.
In the cartoon?
In the cartoon.
Okay, because I've never actually... I saw the cartoon, but I think it was a little after my time, or before my time.
Yeah.
And so I was like... I didn't really care most of the time for it. So.
And it's a complete cheese ball sort of 80s Japanese exploitation sort of
Right,
thing. Well, not really Japanese exploitation, but I don't know what I'm saying.
I saw the movie, which was actually pretty cool.
Yes, so the 80s movie, awesome movie. Now,
Orson Welles did the voice of
Unicron.
Unicron.
And Leonard Nimoy was Galvatron, whom Galvatron is in Transformers Age of Extinction, but not voiced by Leonard Nimoy. We'll get to that later. In terms of the Transformers stuff, with the movies, I think that there was just that much, too much emphasis on humans.
Okay.
It followed Shia LaBeouf too closely.
Yeah.
His love interest too closely.
Right.
Showed Megan Fox's butt too much.
Right.
And there wasn't enough Autobot stuff. There wasn't enough Decepticon stuff. There wasn't, for me, enough of the robot stuff.
Okay.
Bay makes up for it in Age of Extinction.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, too, is that there are some beloved characters that are staples of the Transformers franchise. And a lot of them get blasted away. We lose Jazz in the second movie. We lose Wheeljack in the third movie. Soundwave dies. Shockwave dies. I don't even remember what happened to Starscream. I don't remember if he died in the third one or if he got away somehow.
I don't. I've honestly seen the first one. Mm-hmm. Then the second one, I got high and I watched it and I fell asleep through the whole thing.
And that's probably the best way to experience these Transformers films.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be sober in any way to truly enjoy them.
Yeah, and it felt like a weird 60s test. You know when they used to test on babies?
Yeah, they'd give them LSD.
Yeah, no, not LSD, but they would
wouldn't?
No. They would put them on high ledges or something. Or that baby where they would
they would put babies on high ledges,
and see if the baby would know to be afraid of falling. Oh,
too soon?
Too soon.
Oh, sorry. Bad joke.
Wow. I wonder if you'll remember that if they saw you in heaven. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, but they used to have these they would do this thing where they would bring a bunny out and then the baby would look at the bunny and they'd be obviously entranced with the bunny, and then someone would smash cymbals behind them, and then the baby would freak out, and then they'd hide the bunny. And then the bunny would come out again, and he would be excited about the bunny, and then they would smash a cymbal behind.
It's like the Pavlov's bell experiment,
right? Exactly. And so every time the baby saw the bunny, he'd be freaked out.
Yeah.
Now every time I see a Transformers movie, I'm that baby because I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be nothing but sound and pain because there's nothing good about it,
Yeah.
Where was I getting about? Oh yeah, Eric Clapton. No, but anyway, it's just there's so much to do with nonsense in this movie, and I mean in my opinion, you know what I mean? I'm sure that there's got to be some redeeming qualities to it for you since you grew up with it.
So for me, Transformers were a big part of my life growing up. I loved the cartoon, loved all the toys, loved the movie, the 80s movie. I didn't really follow a lot of the Beast Wars and all the new stuff that's happened since then because to me it's whatever. But the old 80s cartoon, that was the pinnacle of Transformers for me.
Gotcha.
And with the way that the Bay stories have kind of have been liberal with those old stories. Okay. It to me it didn't catch me as an old school Transformers fan.
Gotcha.
In fact, it kind of turned me off to some things because I love Soundwave. Soundwave's an awesome character, and he's got these cassettes that fly out of him. In the movie, he's a giant satellite dish floating up in space, and he essentially just shoots out this little ball that happens to turn into a lion-looking thing, which is Ravage. And
what movie was that?
That was the second one.
I have no fucking clue.
Well, you said you were stoned when you watched
it. Yeah, that's true.
So.
That's true.
But so I mean, it's small things like that where they take these characters I like. And Shockwave, he's one of my favorite Decepticons, and he was kind of the main bad guy at the beginning of Dark of the Moon.
Okay.
And he was kind of just running around and hunting a lot of the Autobots. Sounds familiar to the beginning of Age of Extinction, if you think about it.
It sounds exactly like the beginning of Age of Extinction.
And he gets wasted, and to me, it's it's a bummer because in the cartoons they don't really kill people off.
Well, I mean,
at least in the Transformers, they had a guy Jetfire who eventually died. He was an Autobot that the Decepticons found, reprogrammed him. The Autobots turned him back to the good side, and then I don't remember exactly how he died. I think he sacrificed himself.
Didn't they kill off all the original cast too?
In the movie.
Okay, in the movie.
In the movie, yeah. So, but that's different. It's not. So Optimus, he only didn't get shot in the face. He got shot through the chest.
Oh, through the chest. Sorry.
But they killed off Ratchet. They killed off a lot of the big guys in that movie, and that was kind of a way to introduce the new Autobots like Rodimus.
Just
or
to sell
I'm
more
just saying
toys,
hot rod.
pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So, going back to the Michael Bay ones, my memories of Optimus Prime was that he was the stereotypical leader. He was the kind of guy that, you know, he was the one that was the strongest Autobot. He was the one that can lead everybody to victory.
Right.
And he'd get put in some perilous situations, but he'd always, you know, typically come out on top.
Right.
In the movies. And so with Optimus Prime in the old cartoons, he is the leader of the Autobots.
Gotcha.
You know, he's the one that, you know, even though he does get in these weird perilous situations, he typically comes out on top. Now in the Bay movies, he is the leader of the Autobots, but he's always getting his ass beat.
True.
You know,
He's like RoboCop. That's what I remember. Like in most RoboCop movies, like someone would just like shoot him with a bazooka, and then he'd spend 40 minutes like in a trash bin.
That's actually a really good analogy. RoboCop can beat the crap out of any of the minions, but when it comes to fighting the main bad guy, he's always getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with some weird, you know, perilous swoop at the very end there.
Yeah.
To save the day. Same thing with Optimus Prime. When it comes to any of the minion Decepticons, he's ripping their heads off, cutting them in half. But when it comes to Megatron, he's a little bitch.
Yeah.
He's getting his ass, and it happened in the previous 3 movies, and for most of Age of Extinction, it's Optimus Prime just getting worked.
Yeah.
It's not until he goes find those Dinobots to where he actually got
Yeah, he needed help. And then what was it in the last one where they're like falling? They're in the forest, and then he gets a blade right through his chest or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we get it. Optimus Prime kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know what that. They kept going back to that plot line where they needed. Optimus Prime was hurt. I mean, in the beginning of this movie, he's hurt.
Yeah,
Marky Mark saves him. Like,
yeah.
He's like, hey, there's like a transformer in our garage. What? No. Like, should we go through this movie? Like, I don't think anybody's gonna see this movie. I mean, everybody saw this movie.
So our recommendation is don't watch this movie.
No.
Save 3 hours of your life. Go watch like 22 Jump Street twice.
Go see Edge of Tomorrow. That's
see Edge
a
of Tomorrow.
great sci-fi film that nobody's watching. And it's Doug Liman. It's Tom Cruise. I know everybody's like, oh, Tom Cruise. He's a good actor. You know.
And he's good in this movie.
He's really good in this movie. Emily Blunt. She's gorgeous. And,
She's
and a great actress, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Paxton does a great role in it. He's in it. He's pretty much like if his character in Aliens like straightened out and didn't die.
Yeah.
What was his name in Aliens?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
I'll remember.
Yeah. So, yes, Age of Extinction. It's definitely a passable movie.
Should we just do a run through of it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so
since you're the one that's not the big Transformers fan here, and and you're the one that had the worst experience with this film, I want you to lead the way.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill Paxton was Private Hudson, by the way.
Hudson, that's
In
right.
Aliens, yeah.
Okay. Good.
So the movie starts out, and I'm trying to remember 3 hours of this fucking nonsense. So give me a minute.
Yeah.
It starts out with them in space, and you see a spaceship heading towards Earth. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the spaceship.
It's a bunch of spaceships.
Yeah, it's like a plethora of spaceships.
Yeah.
That's an SAT word right there.
What does
Plethora. It means many.
Oh, I thought it was that little thing in your wiener. Or is that your urethra?
Good night, everyone. No. Anyway, what urethra?
Yeah.
That's
Same thing, right?
yeah, same
Okay,
thing,
gotcha.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Plethora
So a
of
urethra of
urethras.
spaceships came by.
A urethra of spaceships came swooping into Earth, and there's like all these these like dinosaurs. It's like the dinosaurs' time, and they're like, rah, rah, and they're like fighting each other and stuff like that. And then-
Foreshadow.
yeah. So these giant machines start to like zap all the dinosaurs and create terraforms of like landmass and such
Yeah.
to like I guess create their own alien species there.
Yeah, so they would essentially, whatever that substance was. They didn't really explain it in the movies.
It was Secret of the Ooze.
It was
That's
Secret of
what
the
it
Ooze,
was,
yeah. And so like all these giant turtles start shooting up out of nowhere. I don't know what that meant.
Wait, that's in a couple of months, I think.
Oh, different Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, different Michael Bay movie.
But so these things, these aliens they showed their hand, and they're fleshy creatures. They're not Transformers.
They're the gods of.
They're the people that
Transformers.
or whatever made the Transformers.
Yeah.
And so they're blasting the stuff onto our planet, which fries all the living life that it touches, and they harvest this stuff.
Let's refer to them as Jesus bots.
So these Jesus bots are harvesting this Transformer sort of DNA stuff that they're creating in order to make Transformers. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's back in the Jurassic era.
Right.
So then here comes Dr. Grant. And he's
No,
like,
no,
you know
wait,
what?
that's
They don't
Jurassic
run
Park.
in herds.
That's Jurassic Park. That's
Dang
Jurassic.
it. I keep getting all these movies mixed up.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Too many
Goose and
dinosaurs.
and Maverick, they
Yeah.
end up flying. Wait, that's Top Gun.
So there wasn't any volleyball in this movie? Because I
You
saw
know
some
what?
dinosaurs that were all like lubed up.
All right, pause it. We're gonna go watch Transformers: Age of Extinction one more time to see if there's any volleyball in it.
Okay, we'll be right back in like 3 hours.
Okay, so there wasn't any volleyball in it. That was
coulda
definitely
swore-
Top Gun.
Yeah,
that
I
was
could have
definitely
swore
Top
there was
Gun.
some volleyball.
But Anthony Edwards in Transformers was pretty good.
He was, yeah.
Wait, was that
Dang it. Should we go back and watch it
3
again?
more hours? Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, Anthony Edwards was not in it,
Yeah.
but
Tom Cruise was in Top Gun. We were talking about him earlier in Edge of Tomorrow.
That's true. Now we brought it all back.
Was Goose in Edge of Tomorrow? Or was
Three-
he dead?
3 hours. Okay, so he's not in that either.
And you know what? We didn't happen to see anything that was related to Edge of Tomorrow in Age of Extinction.
That's
so
right.
we just wasted another 3 hours of our life.
That's right. Yeah, it's been 12 hours. We watched 12 hours of this movie, and
Yeah.
I'm just the torso now.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not even a head
And
anymore.
I think my eyes are just pure blood right now.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing, and I can't even see it because I'm a torso.
Yeah.
I don't know how my torso is talking.
So we go from the Jurassic era where all these dinosaurs have been turned into Transformer building blocks to Marky Mark and his buddy TJ Miller, Lucas the Doofus.
Yeah, that's his name apparently. Now, Marky Mark is a scientist, cowboy.
I don't know if he's a robotic engineer.
Yeah, but
apparently.
he has his own like company called, what was it, like Dildo or Dillo or?
It was named after him, the character,
Oh, hold on.
and it was
I'll give it to you right now. Jaeger.
Jaeger
Which-
bomb,
Which
robotics.
Jaegers, if you remember, was from Pacific Rim,
Rim.
which is a much better movie.
Yes, which
Than
has
this
giant
bullshit.
robots in it.
Yes. So anyway, he takes stuff and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of crap, and I'm gonna." This is my Mark Wahlberg impression, by the way.
I
gonna
thought Mark Wahlberg was here.
I know. Well, hold on. Let me go get him. Mark, hold on. We're gonna switch mics. Oh, hey, this is Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. So anyway, I was making some robots and stuff, and I go and I pick up some junk to make robots to pay for my super hot daughter's college, cause that's all she needs. She don't need no man. You know what I mean? You know, give me that back, Mark Wahlberg.
Actually, can you give it back to Mark? I have a couple questions I want to
hold
ask
on.
him.
Oh yes, hello.
So, Mark, when it was the scene where you and TJ Miller were in the movie theater and you happened to find a truck in the middle of a movie theater, what was your thought on that scene?
Well, you know, I was in my jacuzzi with all these bitches, right? And my publicist came in and she was like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yes." She didn't even say what it was, you know. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I'm in Texas in an old theater with a truck, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is a Transformers movie." Well, fuck. So anyway, that's how I thought about that.
So you didn't
scene.
go to Michael Bay at all and be like, Michael, what is a truck doing in the middle of a movie theater?
Not what? No.
Okay. Did you at least enjoy your experience with Transformers?
What? No.
Okay. Well, I do know that you have a lot on your plate. You probably have Transformers 5 to go work on right now.
I have nothing to do right now. I've been sitting in my car listening to old Marky Mark tapes.
Well-
You want to come?
Actually, I do.
Oh.
Is it awkward if we both drop our pants?
No. What? No.
All right, well, Mark, thanks for stopping by VidNerds.
All right. Do I have to give it back? Give it back, you son of a... All right. Anyway. So.
I can't believe Mark and Mark was on the podcast.
Yeah,
How
of
awesome
course.
is that?
I mean, the guy has been sitting outside of the house, just like looking in.
Yeah.
Outside of the studio.
Yeah, in his Porsche. And he's got the car on with the AC running.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. Anyway. So Mark Wahlberg goes to this place and he's like collecting crap, and he wants to build the next best robot so he can make tons of money. He finds a random transformer in a movie theater or a truck.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't know how that got there. And he was like, all right, well, I'll buy it from you. So he buys it and he takes it back home. Then they're like, his daughter shows up and she's like 17 or something.
Yeah, because she's still in high school. She's trying to get into college.
Yeah.
And they're broke.
Yeah.
Super broke.
Yeah. And it's a hilarious scene where a sassy black lady's trying to do her job and show the house off. And he runs out with a baseball bat and tries to hit her. And I was laughing all the way through that scene. I was not half asleep.
Because it was a black exploitation, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
And so finally he finds out that it's a transformer. So he's like, oh shit, it's a transformer. And then TJ Miller, his buddy, like who works for him, decides to go call it in because they can get money to save the house.
Yeah. So
without Mark Wahlberg's
permission.
Say so.
Yeah. So as Mark Wahlberg is investigating this truck that he found, and just before he figures out that it's a transformer, we get a little glimpse into what's the current status of the Autobots. And apparently Kelsey Grammer is a super bad guy in this film.
Yeah.
And he has a secret hand of the government called, what are they called?
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs. And their job is to essentially go hunt Autobots and destroy them.
Yeah.
And so tossed salad and scrambled eggs are going all throughout the United States. And we see a scene where they find Ratchet. Ratchet is the medical officer of the Autobots. And he's all beat up and he's hiding in some steamboat. But to our surprise, tossed salad and scrambled eggs are working with a Decepticon.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
Yes.
Not really a Decepticon. He is just some weird, evil bounty hunter robot.
Yes.
Not affiliated with the Autobots, not affiliated with the Decepticons. So his sole purpose is to hunt down Optimus Prime.
Think of him as like he's death. He's on neither side of the living or the dead. He just does his thing.
Yeah. And he turns into, I think it was a Lamborghini.
That's right.
He turns into a Lamborghini, and the way he attacks people is that his face turns into a gun.
That's right.
So I think we were calling him Shooty Face.
We were calling him Shooty Face, yes.
So Shooty Face is helping Toss Salad and Scrambled Eggs
yeah.
and Kelsey Grammer to hunt down Autobots.
Yeah.
Now,
did you know Shooty Face is voiced by David Hyde Pierce?
Was that really Niles?
No, that wasn't Niles.
Oh.
That was, and Buddy the dog actually.
That was Buddy the dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, that explains why like they
Wait,
robots...
wasn't that Clinton's dog? Buddy the dog.
I don't know. I never watched Frasier.
You never watched Frasier?
No. Why would I?
I guess I only
I'm
like
a heterosexual
highbrow
male.
music. Hey, I'm a heterosexual male.
Are you?
Most of the time. No, you're not. Shut up, Mark Wahlberg. So they kill this like. Do they kill him?
They killed Ratchet. Yes.
They kill Ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
Then these like bad police guys show up at the farm.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Todd Salad and Scrambled Eggs shows up at the farm.
So they just killed Ratchet, and they get a notification that Optimus Prime is in the area.
Yeah.
Because they see him in a truck.
Did they get a text message?
No, they got a call from TJ Miller.
Oh.
And so they sent some drone to go take pictures of Marky Mark.
What's that about?
What?
Hey.
And so they find out, they figure it's Optimus Prime. So they
Right.
send in tossed salad and scrambled eggs to go get Optimus Prime.
Right. So they come in, they like threaten the family. They put the girl on her head and like on her back, and they like gonna shoot her in the head.
Yeah, they're gonna blast her in the dome. Oh, we also forgot to mention that all the Autobots hate humans now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because they turned on them.
Ratchet got really mad when he got exposed by the humans, and he was blasting them, shooting them with his cannons and stuff.
Well, it's because because the Shooty Face fired a shot at him. Remember?
Yeah, and he thought it was a human.
Yeah.
But even still, when Optimus Prime transformed, when he wakes up, he's threatening Marky Mark and his family.
Right.
And he's threatening to kill, and that's something Optimus Prime really hasn't ever done in the cartoons.
Right.
Even when it comes to fighting Megatron in the cartoons, it's only till that one pinnacle moment in the movie where he says one shall stand and one shall fall.
Right.
And then that's basically Optimus saying, I'm done with this. One of us is going to end our feud here.
One's gonna die.
But he never hurts humans. His thing is like his prime directive, if he was RoboCop, is that he will always serve and protect.
Right.
So now he doesn't want to serve and protect. He just wants to save his own butt and do whatever he has to with the humans.
Right. And so, so he, they're about to die, the TJ Miller and all of them, and somehow, Optimus comes out of the barn and starts capping tossed salad and scrambled egg people all over the place.
Scrambling their eggs, as it were.
Tossed salad everywhere. And then the girl's boyfriend, who, it's a running joke in the movie that Mark Wahlberg doesn't want his super hot 17-year-old girlfriend to, date. And he's like, oh, you need to go to college. And here's, and so her boyfriend shows up. And, of course, he's like a extreme racer.
Stunt driver. Super awesome. Saves the day, picks him up, drives him away.
Picks up TJ Miller, Marky Mark, and the super hot chick. And they're, racing. And then, they go to an abandoned warehouse. And they're, racing through the thing. And tossed salad and scrambled egg cars are, chasing them. Mm-hmm. And they hit a ramp off of off the top story of the building, and they somehow land on a ramp that goes up, but they don't die, and so the tossed salad and scrambled eggs cars crash.
Yeah, and blow up.
Yeah, and so they're like, oh yeah, woohoo, we made it, and then they get out of the car
because the car's all jacked up.
It doesn't move anymore, and then Shooty Face shows up and throws a bomb down to the guys. They're like, no, we're gonna outrun these explosions they do in every Michael Bay
And ironically
movie.
enough, when the grenade explodes, it doesn't do a radius explosion I don't know, most grenades do. It has this perfect path on the sides of our heroes, so the explosions have actually passed Marky Mark and family, Marky Mark and his funky bunch.
It's like when a wrestler comes out of when
a wrestler's making his entrance. Yeah. The Rock comes out and lightning just shoots, or not lightning, but fireworks shoot up and down the ramp. That's exactly what it was. So it was like Marky Mark and his funky bunch doing their WWE entrance. Yeah. And so they're safe. They hop into Optimus, who's ready to take off, but they forgot TJ Miller because TJ Miller got stuck in the boyfriend's car.
Yeah.
So he finally breaks
other guys.
Yeah. So he finally breaks free, and somehow the explosion doesn't blow him up, but it eventually catches up to him. Yeah. Turns him into this
crispy
sort of robotic looking. Yeah. So it looked like the same stuff that the what were they, the Godobots were doing. So it's Jesus bots. Yeah. And it's it was kind of not shocking, but kind of messed up because he was the funny guy in the movie. TJ, I was okay, at least TJ Miller's in this. Yeah, we're gonna have a little comedy relief. Yeah.
But I think, hey, Mark Wahlberg, come back in here. Yeah. Hey, why did they kill TJ Miller? Oh, I thought I was the funniest guy ever. So I was like, fuck you, TJ Miller, and I said kill him, or I was gonna leave. Oh, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah. So what about Stanley Tucci? Because for me personally, when he is first introduced, he's sort of an evil corporate guy, but then once he has to retreat to China, he becomes a comedy relief, and he was my favorite part of Transformers: Age of Extinction. If you don't mind me saying, Marky Mark.
No, it's all right. I actually like Susan Lucci a lot, and so we were huge fans. I was huge fans of those soap operas. Mm-hmm. So when Susan Lucci. Mark, it's Stanley Tucci, right? Not Susan Lucci, not the soap opera lady. Oh shit! I gotta go call Michael Bay. All right, well there he goes again. Anyway, so Stanley Tucci, is the comic relief later in the film,
which is weird.
There's a huge gap in the middle where there's no comedy, and if comedy is trying to be made, it's either by Wahlberg
or by Bumblebee,
which I guess.
Yeah.
Did you notice that they use a Big Lebowski reference with Bumblebee, and John Goodman plays that? What was his name?
He plays Hound.
Yeah.
So John Goodman plays Hound, who is a fat Autobot. Let's talk about the Autobots. I want to talk about the Autobot roster here.
Okay. Hold on to your butts, everyone.
So we've got Hound.
Okay.
Who in the original cartoon is a green Jeep. Who I don't know his exact role with the Autobots, but he has the ability to project holograms.
Okay.
In the movie, he is I guess a sort of I don't know. He's got a bunch of big guns. He's a big old fat guy with a big old fat beard, and he's got a robot cigar.
Yeah, just like the cartoons.
Yeah. And then there's Ken Watanabe, who plays the character.
Right.
I don't remember the name of his Autobot.
I will tell you right now.
But it struck me as odd because Ken Watanabe, famous for a lot of his, heavily Japanese-inspired roles because he's not too good with the English.
He was in Inception.
He was in Inception. He was in Batman Begins. He was in Godzilla. He was in
Drift.
The Last Samurai. He plays Drift, who's a helicopter.
Yeah.
And he's wearing old style, like his Autobot form looks like he's wearing old style samurai stuff.
He was a samurai.
And because he's a helicopter, his propellers become swords.
Yeah.
Which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then there was Crosshairs, who was voiced by
John DiMaggio,
who is
Bender.
Yep.
And the dog from Adventure Time, which I don't watch that show, but I'm sure everybody does.
Yep.
Flynn, that's his name?
No,
Jake.
Jake, yeah. So I have a little female Finn here.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know who that is. I got it from Loot Crate.
Nice. You subscribe to Loot Crate?
I do. I am
Loot
a
Crate.
looter.
Listen to that. We should meet up.
I will. Yes, Loot Crate. We love your stuff. Please send us more. We will reach out to you to be a sponsor.
But yeah, so those Autobots were like nothing.
And
crazy.
Of course we had Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And so this whole roster, it was just meh to me. It seemed like Crosshairs was still on the I hate humans tip, and at every chance he could, wanted to either ditch the humans or kill them.
Right.
Hound was all of a sudden became buddies with Marky Mark when Marky Mark figured out how to use alien weaponry.
Okay.
And then the Asian guy just kind of floated around.
Yeah.
And he was the one that provided the wisdom.
Yes.
He was the wise Japanese samurai.
Yeah.
Didn't really like this roster of Autobots.
Pretty bad.
Pretty boring.
There was also...
And for whatever reason, so here's this. Optimus Prime. Giant hole in his chest.
Right.
Barely misses his power core, right? On the verge of death. He's able to scan a truck. Boom, 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 boom. 100% repaired.
Yeah.
Bumblebee. Last 4 movies. Had his voice box crushed. Able to scan things, transform, heal himself, but he can't fix his freaking vocoder. So he's still, in this movie, he's still talking through the radio.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And it's always like hip-hoppy like voices. Like,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
Chill out, Gangnam Style, or something like.
I don't like how they're handling Bumblebee. And in this one, like, at least in the other movies, he's like Optimus's right-hand man, and he's responsible and he's a good fighter.
Yeah.
This one, he's like
Reckless.
He's young, he's stupid, and like Marky Mark and Optimus connect because Marky Mark's got this young rebellious daughter who he doesn't know how to handle, and then Optimus is like, yeah, I'm going through the same thing with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
He's
like,
going
what?
through puberty.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. So dumb.
He's getting hair down there on the car
yeah.
parts. It's kind of weird.
If you know his tailpipe, huh? Wait, what?
What?
Exhaust port?
Yeah?
His transmission?
I don't know.
His drive shaft.
Mwah.
And the Decepticon roster, so we've got Shooty Face, who we've already established is not a Decepticon nor an Autobot. The Decepticons have been rebuilt by a human company. So what this company is doing, and the company is led by Stanley Tucci, not Susan Lucci. So Susan Lucci is running this company, and she creates this stuff called Transformium. And it's essentially what the Autobot or the Transformers are made of.
Which begins the shameless plugging of like products.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci is standing there holding this like mass of whatever the fuck this thing is.
He's got the Beats pill.
Yeah,
He's got a
releases
gun.
a Beats pill.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it displays it in front of the camera for a good 5 to 10 seconds.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's just ridiculous.
And just like how Marky Mark runs into that Bud Light truck.
And then drinks a Bud Light.
Yeah, he's like, is this your beer? And he holds it to where you can perfectly see Bud Light in his hand, cracks it open, chugs it. As he's chugging it, you could read Bud Light on his hand.
It's ridiculous.
Really doesn't make me want a Bud Light.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Bud Light's disgusting.
Yeah.
And so this company is...
Call us Bud Light.
we would like to be sponsored by you. They are taking parts that are salvaged from old Transformers and using that to kind of reverse engineer so they can create their own Transformers. Their whole mission of this company called TGRI
Something like that. Yeah.
is they want to make the Transformers better. So they the way that they're able to do it is that they have, I guess, who's one of the smartest Autobots ever is this tiny little dinky like miniature thing.
Yeah. I thought it was like the little dude that like infiltrated the like Air Force One. Wasn't that the same dude?
No, different character.
Oh.
Different character. Yeah, that was a Decepticon.
Oh.
And so this guy, he's being tortured by the humans to help them reverse engineer the stuff. Now, the thing that they run into is that Susan Lucci is trying to recreate Optimus Prime.
Right.
But when they do so, it keeps looking like Megatron. It doesn't look exactly like Megatron, but it looks kind of like Megatron.
Yeah.
And what it ends up being is that they're calling it Galvatron, Waka Waka Waka. And the reason why it keeps turning into Megatron is because the main source of, I guess, material that they're using, or the main programming information they're getting from, is the severed head of Megatron.
Yeah.
And they thought it was completely inoperational, but guess what? There's still a little life in his head, and Megatron's essence has been transferred into Galvatron,
Right.
and who in turn has been using the humans to reproduce all these Transformers that are much better, and he resurrects about 50 Decepticons.
Right.
So what makes these Transformers better than the Transformers we know is that because they're built with a Transformium, it's essentially the way they transform. So they turn in these little tiny white blocks and then form. And
Like
it's
liquid metal.
It looks like liquid metal. It looks absolutely stupid.
Yeah. It's so dumb.
It's lame. They look and move like the little squiddy things from the Matrix. It was
Or the black smoke monster.
the black smoke. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. It's pretty dumb.
So now, not only do the Autobots have to worry about Shooty Face, but now they also have to worry about Galvatron, who has become self-aware, realizes he's essentially a rebuilt Megatron,
Right.
and he wants to go and destroy Optimus Prime and the Autobots.
Right.
Who do they go to for help?
Carol Channing.
Who?
Carol Channing.
Not Channing Tatum?
No. Channing. I don't know who.
They go to the Dinobots.
That's right. I was so brain dead by this part.
Yeah.
I went and got hot dogs like 14 times.
Yeah. So,
I went to the bathroom just to go. Like,
oh my gosh, I forgot the part where Optimus Prime gets captured. Because, he's the leader of the Autobots. He's supposed to be a badass. But guess what? He gets caught
again.
by Shooty Face.
And the chick and the hot daughter gets caught.
Yeah, the hot
too.
daughter gets caught too. So Marky Mark and the boyfriend have to go.
Yeah, by the way, the boyfriend has the charisma of like
a brick.
yeah, like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like there is no Susan Lucci was a better person than he was
Yeah.
by far.
I liked Susan Lucci. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, but this is Stanley Tucci, by the way, everybody that we're saying. It's just Mark Wahlberg thinks it's Susan Lucci, and I'm sure he's listening to us.
Yeah,
from
so
the
we
car
have to
right
keep
now.
saying Susan Lucci so that way he doesn't get confused. Because, he's paying for this episode.
What?
This episode's
No.
sponsored by Marky Mark.
What?
Ooh, I'm going to do that. Call back.
Call back.
And so because Optimus gets captured, he sees a creature on this ship of Shooty Face.
Yeah.
And we learn that the ship that Shooty Face has is one of the ships that the Jesus bots had,
Right.
whom are I forgot what he called them. He called them they weren't like the 12 primes. They were something else.
Prime time.
They're the 12 primetime botonators, and the 12 primetime botonators have all been destroyed, and Optimus is the last primetime botonator
Yep.
that Shooty Face is trying to get.
Wait, who the fuck is saying this?
Huh?
Who is saying this?
Wait, what?
Who is saying this?
Me.
Like, no. Like, who's telling them that the prime timeonators? Like, how do you find that out?
Oh, Shooty Face.
Oh, Shooty Face. That's
Yeah, because Prime recognizes the ship that he's on, and he's like, "Oh, you've destroyed
right.
the
Oh,
ship."
the ship scene. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Okay.
And then,
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. And so Optimus sees a creature on the ship, whom happens to be a Dinobot.
Okay.
And he doesn't say anything when he first sees it. It's not until they take over the ship, they crash the ship, they get off the ship, realize that Galvatron is going to be whooping all their butts. So Optimus Prime goes back to the ship, releases them, and says, "The legends are true." And out comes 4 or 5 Dinobots.
Right.
And they're in their robot form. They're, I think, twice the size of the regular Transformers. And they seem, and they're not really sided with anybody. They're not sided with the Decepticons, not sided with the Autobots.
They're just dinosaurs.
Yeah, and I don't think they have any sort of idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Optimus, I guess, in order to win them to his side, has to humiliate them, I guess is the best way to put it, because he starts saying like stuff like, "Oh, we need you. You need to be with us." And so Grimlock transforms.
He also duct tape. He puts super glue on Grimlock's toilet seat.
Okay.
And he like can't get up. Remember that scene was
hilarious.
hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Anyway,
and so Grimlock turns to his Tyrannosaurus Rex. Optimus Prime punches him in the face, and the scene is shown where it's like an old action movie where, not old, but like, and by old I mean like Matrix, where like you punch him in the face and like you can see the skin in slow motion just flap, flap, flap.
Yeah.
But you see Grimlock's jaw unhinge and his like teeth are getting all cracked and he's all jacked up. So it's like, all right, Optimus needs these guys to help him, and he's already jacked up one of them. And then he gets a sword and he's like hitting it with his sword. It's like, are you trying to kill the Autobots? Or are you trying to be like, hey? And so I guess what he's doing is like, he's trying to break them in.
Yeah.
And until, I guess, Grimlock becomes subservient and allows Optimus to ride him.
Right. And he's like, all right, fine, get on.
And then because
and
so because Grimlock gives up, the rest of the Dinobots are like, great, we have to have these little tiny bastards ride us.
Yeah.
And so the remaining Autobots jump on these other Dinobots and go in and save the day.
Yeah. That's essentially the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it is so just like lopsided, the whole film. Like the last, I would say, good hour is just brutal punching and like hitting with sticks and stuff. Like, I was just like atrociously bad.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that Michael Bay wasn't going to do another Transformers?
Yeah.
And the reason why he did another Transformers is because he went to the opening of the Transformers ride at Universal Studios and saw all the people in line, and he's like, that's it, I'm making another one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the reason why.
So we can blame Universal Studios for this.
Yeah.
If they would never, and I heard that ride is not good, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A good friend of ours, Mr. Peter Harkins, told us it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
He says it's kind of motion sickening.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
I've seen video of the ride, and it's like you're in a little buggy, and you're going through, and there's like these giant screens that are all, I guess, around you on top, and they make it look like the Optimus and Megatron are fighting, and then I guess when you go in certain scenes, like a hand will come down, a giant robotic hand, or a face will come down and stuff like that. It's just, it didn't look very fun to me.
Yeah.
I would not have wanted to be, well, I'm sure if I go to Universal Studios, I'll go on the ride. So Universal, if you want to sponsor us, please give us free tickets to Universal Studios.
Yeah, it's this movie. I'm sorry, but...
So back to the Dinobots. Dinobots aren't really the ones that save the day. They just give the Autobots a fighting advantage. It ends up being Shooty Face versus Optimus because Galvatron says to himself, now that I'm reborn, I could do something else, I guess. So he just runs off.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then it's Imagine Dragons starts playing.
Yeah, Imagine radioactive. And so Shooty Face, of course, gets the upper hand on Optimus.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee comes in to help. Bumblebee gets jacked up, and he's about ready to get killed by Shooty Face. And it's not until the humans in a tow truck come in to save not just Bumblebee, but give Optimus a chance to recover by pulling a sword out of him, whom Optimus
with a tow truck,
a giant robot sword that's been implanted in probably, I don't know, 15 feet of concrete.
Yeah, and 4 rubber wheels pull that out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure it's got a lot of torque. It's a tow truck.
Okay, a Chinese like garbage tow truck. Like
Chinese makes good stuff.
I know, but still,
especially orange chicken. And so they pull out the sword. Optimus takes it, slices Shooty Face in half.
And that's the movie.
Almost. At the very end, they have your typical giant robots in the sunset talking to the humans about, what do you do now, Optimus? We don't have a place to live. And Optimus says, oh, well, I'm still being hunted, so I have to go make things right. And he shoots himself off into space. And he says, Jesus bots, I'm coming for you. And you see him shaking his fist.
Yeah, literally, he's going to go kick the shit out of Jesus.
Yeah, so it's Transformers 5, Jesus bots versus Optimus Prime.
Radioactive, Radio Jesus.
And that is how the movie ends.
Hold on. I want to come back in.
Oh, yeah, Mark, come on in. I'm sure we got a couple more questions for you.
Jeez, Mark, well, hold on. Anyway, so, you know how much my movie made?
How much did your movie make, Marky Mark?
$100 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the second most grossing movie that even tried to challenge Transformers?
22 Dump Street. And you know how much that made?
How much did that make, Marky Mark?
$15 million.
So 22 Jump Street, from friends and family, I've heard, is a fantastically funny time. It's so funny. It's so good. Ernesto, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was actually.
And you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Actually, Mark, have you seen it?
Get off my mic. No, I didn't see that.
Okay. But your Transformers, which is an atrocious pile of garbage, made $100 million.
Right. And?
The world's not fair. Life is not fair.
You know what else isn't fair?
What's not fair?
Me grabbing that $15 million that 22 Jump Street did and have breakfast with it.
You ate the entire earnings in 22 Jump Street?
Yes.
Why would you do such a thing?
I don't know, but my stomach hurts.
I can imagine you ate dollar bills. You ate stacks of $100. Did you at least cover it in any sort of sauce or dressing or anything?
Yeah.
A little syrup?
I'm an American. I covered it in ketchup.
Ketchup and a little mustard?
No.
No?
What is this, Holland?
If you're American, you used mayo, didn't you?
What? No.
Why?
I'm out of here. Can I buy your bathroom?
Yeah.
There.
Especially if you're going to dump $1 million in there.
Every time Mark Wahlberg comes in, he like jams the mic on my head, and we have headsets, and then pulls it off. It's very painful, Mark Wahlberg.
He probably thinks your head is a cinder block, and he's trying to do bench presses with it while he's in his underwear.
He did, and I'm kind of aroused, but that's besides the point.
What do you think he's been using the bench press?
What?
Yeah. No.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh my.
So we obviously took a little detour with our typical show format.
Yeah. Just because this movie is so bad, there's no format really to this like movie.
We didn't want to go into. I mean, the fact that it made $100 million just goes to show it doesn't matter how much they spend on marketing or any sort of movie product placement, tie-ins, and all that stuff. It's just. It made a crap load of money, which is unfortunate because that means Transformers 5 is going to get greenlit. I'm sure we're going to hear it within the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Transformers 5, Age of Poopstinction, Jesus Bots versus Octobots.
Poopstinction sounds like a toilet.
It's the toilet that the Autobots use.
Huh.
You didn't see that scene? You must have gotten a hot dog.
I was getting a hot dog during that
Dang,
part.
you're so lucky. How come I wasn't smart enough to go get hot dogs?
You know what? I also played Star Wars Arcade while I was in there.
You bastard.
It was in there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We went to the drive-thru, everyone.
Drive-in.
We went through the drive-thru and then went to the drive-in.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. But, we went to the drive-in.
So, Capital Drive-ins if you want to sponsor us. Right?
Yeah, Capital Drive-ins if you want to give us free movies or something. So, yeah. Anyway, and final thoughts on Transformers?
Didn't like it. Wasted 3 hours of my life. I was actually in... For me, it was a bummer because I was actually kind of looking forward to the movie. I know we were hyping it up to be a big steaming pile of garbage.
Oh, I was. That's for sure.
And we were not looking forward to the movie at all. But the more I saw it, like you said, you watched a trailer and it made it look exciting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man.
That's after I'd seen it, too.
Yeah. And so I got excited for this movie, kind of like what the trailers for the Ninja Turtles movie has gotten. Mm-hmm. It's gotten me excited to see the movie.
It's just, it has a really good marketing team behind it. That's for sure.
Fantastic marketing team. But unfortunately, the movie, it's 90% giant robots blowing up.
Yep.
Which, when I know I made a point earlier to where the previous Transformers films didn't have enough robots fighting, and how this movie makes up for it. It's way too much. Way too much.
Yeah. It's like having It's like if someone grabbed like 14 cakes and just threw them in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, 13 cakes is good.
Yeah.
That's a good even number. 14 is just way too much. Way
Yeah.
too much. So, if you haven't seen it, unless you're like a super hardcore Transformers fan, even if you are, I've had some hardcore Transformer fans say that they didn't like this movie at all. So I don't know what that says about Michael Bay. Like, why is he continuing to make these storylines that people don't really enjoy?
because it made $100 million.
Oh, that's why. Because we're all stupid and we all gave our money to Michael Bay and Universal Studios.
Hey, we're not all stupid. Our audience is very smart.
Are they, Ernesto?
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
How many of you have paid to see this movie?
We paid for it.
Exactly.
Just stop listening to us. Just say that.
This will be our final episode as we've been pulled off the air by Night of the Living Geeks. So,
Anyway,
what did you think?
it was terrible. It was one of the worst experiences at the movie theaters that I've ever dealt with. It was on and on, monotonous garbage, and I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. Like, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
now one thing I don't know if you did any research on this, but this movie didn't have any sort of after credit scene, did it?
no, I did not. This was the first Transformers 4 that didn't have a middle, like, credit scene.
Okay. So what's good about that is hopefully that means either Bay or Universal are non-committal
To the
fifth
to the new
one.
Yeah.
But the $100 million that they're now swimming in means essentially that a 5 is almost inevitable.
Pretty much.
So there you go.
Good job, America.
Yeah, like I said, you're all stupid.
Good job, us, for paying for it too.
Yeah, we're all stupid.
I would also like to note that your wife was in the car with us and very sick in the back.
Yeah, and we're pretty sure that it was the movie that made her sick. She had to get up and throw up a couple of times, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's pregnant.
Yeah, no.
It was the fact that this movie is so horrendous that it actually made her ill to her stomach.
Yep.
And vomit all over the place.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the only thing that's left for us in this movie is that we give it 14 thumbs down.
Yep.
We say it's pass. If you can watch it for free, like if you're going to, if you're in the San Jose area and you're gonna hang out at the parking lot and tune in for free, then maybe you want to do that. If you have a friend that's willing to pay for your ticket, maybe you want to do that. I wouldn't suggest that though, because that means you actually have to pay money. The less money you give Transformers 4, the better. Maybe, I don't know, look for
Go see Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, go see Edge of Tomorrow because it's got Emily Blunt.
And it's an awesome, beautifully written, very exciting and funny action film.
And she wears a midriff shirt.
Does. And she does like this like crazy like yoga dog pose like a million times in it.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that.
We give it 2 boners up.
Yeah. 2 boners up.
But they're not touching.
All right. Are you sure?
Yeah. Like E.T.
Mark Wahlberg, come in here.
Elliot.
Okay. So that's the end of VidNerds. Mark, we're going to all touch boners right now.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to comment about Transformers 4, Mark?
Hold on. God. Yeah. These idiots don't know what they're talking about. Go watch it, because I need a speedboat that's full of ham. And it's going to be awesome. That's my next movie, Speedboat Full of Ham. 12.
So, Mark, if we can go see Speedboat Full of Ham 12 and give it a positive review, could you give us maybe like a lifetime supply of Calvin Klein's? Can you get Calvin Klein to sponsor our podcast?
Yeah. Come on.
Mark, I am your biggest
You want to
fan.
come out to my car? I got a whole bunch of Calvin Kleins out there.
Yeah?
They're not clean, but
Okay.
because I've been just living in my car because nobody loves me because I make these movies.
I love you, Mark.
I love you too, Devin. Wait, that's your name, right?
It doesn't matter what my name is. You can call me whatever you want.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Ernesto. So we just talked about Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. I can't even say it without fumbling over my words because it's that bad of a movie. We need to clean our palate. We need to get back on track. We need to be fresh.
We need to watch a movie that everybody loves. It's scary as hell. It's the original blockbuster, the first one that put pretty much the name blockbuster on the map.
Yep.
And because it's so close to the 4th of July during the summer, we're taking a trip to Amityville. That's right, folks. We're doing the 1975 classic, Jaws.
I was in Jaws.
I was in Jaws.
That's Richard Dreyfuss, by the way. Maybe he'll be a guest on next week's show.
Maybe.
I want to reach out to Richard Dreyfuss and see if he can sponsor or at least just be a guest on the next show.
Let's get Mr. Holland's Opus Jaws. I mean, not Jaws. Can you imagine? Jaws is like wearing a cardigan and teaching his son how to make music.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And that might be the sequel to Mr. Holland's Orifice.
Orifice?
Oh, wait,
That's a different movie. That was the adult film version, Mr. Holland's Orifice.
You mean there was a regular version?
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't see that. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this week's episode, folks. We'll go ahead and see you next week when we talk about Jaws. Okay, bye.
Mr. Holland's Orifice.
Who doesn't love his orifice?
Gross. That's so disturbing.
Why?
Sounds like a porno.
I'd watch it.
I would watch it too.